Hi, my name is Nima and today I'm going to read a book called The Bad House. Imagine 5 offer, read and imagine. Meet the characters. Ben and Rosie are always ready for a new adventure in Grandpa's amazing van. The van can fly, it can change shape, it can go anywhere in the world in moments. It can travel through time. Ben and Rosie are ready for the next adventure. Are you? Grandpa, Rosie and Ben's grandfather. Rosie, Ben's sister. Ben, Rosie's brother. Max, Ben's friend. Jim Wood, a famous computer scientist. Vesta, Jim Wood's house computer. Clunk, Grandpa's robot. In this story, Grandpa and Rosie visit an amazing new house. But why is the house so dangerous? Read The Bad House or find out. Chapter 1. Wow, said Grandpa as he looked at the computer screen. What are you looking at? Grandpa asked Rosie. On the screen there was a photo of the big house. That's beautiful, said Rosie. Grandpa smiled. I'm happy that you like it, Rosie, because the owner of this house had just emailed me. He invited me to come and visit him there today. Really? Said Rosie. Whose house is it? It's Jim Wood's new house in the countryside, said Grandpa. Ben and Max looked at in surprise. Jim Wood? Ben said exactly. He's a famous computer scientist. Do you know Jim Wood, Grandpa? No, said Grandpa, but Mr. Wood has read one of the computer books that I wrote. He wants me to see his house because he used some of my idea about computer to make it. Grandpa stood up. Do you want to come too? He asked Rosie. Mr. Wood said that I could bring one person with me. Can Ben and I come and see your house from the outside? Asked Max. Jim Wood is very famous. Yes, of course, said Grandpa. Come on. 5 minutes later, everyone was in the van. Grandpa gave Mr. Wood a address to Clunk, and then, moments later, the van arrived outside the house. Wow, that house is huge, said Max. I'm not surprised, said Ben. Jim Wood is one of the richest people in the world. Grandpa opened the van door. Clunk, please, can you come back in an hour to pick us up? Grandpa and Rosie said goodbye to the boys, and they went into the front doors. Before Grandpa could knock, a voice said, Who are you? Why are you here? The voice came from a small screen next to the door. On the screen, Grandpa and Rosie saw the shape of the face. Mr. Wood invited me, said Grandpa. This is my granddaughter, Rosie. The face on the screen smiled. Come inside, it said. The front door opened without a sound. Chapter 2. In front of the hall was a big, beautiful, and empty. There was another big screen on the wall with the same computer face as the screen outside. Welcome, the face said in the same voice. Jim was very busy at his office today, but he'll be home soon. Please come in and wait for him. Okay, said Grandpa. But who are you? The face smiled. I'm the house computer. It said, I control everything here. You can call me Vesta. Come this way, please, said Vesta. Another door quietly opened in front of Grandpa and Rosie. The house was huge, with room after room. There was a library, a gym, a games room. Every room had the same things. A screen with Vesta's face. This is the TV room, Vesta said as they went into. Please sit down here, Vesta told Grandpa and Rosie when they come to the kitchen. Jim will be home very soon. Would you like some cookie to eat while you wait? A little hole opened in the wall was a plate of cookies came out. They're still warm, said Rosie as she tried one. Are they delicious? Said Vesta nicely. Yes, said Rosie. Are they the most delicious cookie that you have ever eaten? Rosie wasn't sure how to answer that. How many rooms are there? Grandpa asked. 100, said Computer. And how many people live here? Jim sleeps here alone, answered Vesta. Really? Said Rosie. But doesn't he get lonely in this huge house? Of course not, Vesta answered quickly. I'm here to look after him. I will always look after him. Grandpa looked at the screen carefully and thought. Just for a moment, Vesta's voice hadn't sounded calm and friendly. It had sounded a little angrily. Chapter 3. The computer voice was calm and spoke again. You're not eating, it said to Grandpa. Don't you like cookies? Don't like my cookies. I'm not hungry, thank you, said Grandpa. He stood up and walked across the kitchen. We're going to leave now. Please open the door again. The door didn't open. Grandpa tried to open with both hands, but didn't move. Vesta, he said, open this door now. At last the computer answered quietly, no. I don't like this, Grandpa, said Rosie nervously. What's happening? Grandpa was walking back to the table. Jim Wood has built one of the most brilliant computers in the world, he explained. It can think, it can feel emotion, but maybe it thinks and feels too much. He picked up a kitchen chair. Get down, Rosie. Suddenly, Grandpa threw a chair at the kitchen window. There was loud sound, but the glass did not break. The chair bounced to the floor. That wasn't a very nice thing to do, said Vesta calmly. You almost damaged Jim's house. I'm going to teach you that you must never do that. Suddenly the kitchen became dark. I can't see anything, said Rosie. Moments later, it was light again. I control everything in this house, said Vesta. I control the light, the temperature. Now it's getting hotter and hotter. It became hard for Grandpa and Rosie to breathe. Stop this, shouted Grandpa. Suddenly the temperature fell and fell, until soon the room was as cold as a refrigerator. Is it better? asked Vesta. Grandpa didn't answer. He took a screwdriver out of his pocket and bent a small metal panel at the bottom of one of the wall. Do not touch that, said Vesta. But Grandpa worked fast to open the panel with his screwdriver. I told you not to do that. Vesta's voice was louder and angrier. Stop! Chapter 4. There was a small square hole in the walls where their panel had been. Grandpa turned to Rosie. This hole is too small for me, but you're little enough. Go and try to get help. Okay, Grandpa. On her hands and knees, Rosie climbed to the hole. She could hear Vesta's angry shout from the room behind her. Come back! Come back! Now you'll be very, very sorry. Don't listen, shouted Grandpa. I'll be okay. Just get help. Grandpa pulled his cell phone out of the pocket. He wanted to call Clunk, but it was too hard to use cell phone in the cold finger. No phone call, shouted Vesta. I won't let you use phone in the house. Grandpa looked at his watch. Clunk is going to come back soon to pick us up, he thought. I'll just wait until then. It was getting colder and colder in the room. Grandpa hoped Rosie was okay. Rosie couldn't stand up behind the wall, so she had to crawl. There was no screen here. She thought, perhaps Vesta can't see me now. She went left, then right, in the next corner. How will I ever find a way out? At last, she came to the panel and went to another room. Hello, said the man's voice behind the panel. Is someone there? Rosie pushed the panel hard and fell into the room. Then she put her head through the hole. She was looking down the small dark room. A man was looking at her. She looked tired and hungry. Rosie thought that you would probably have been here for a long time. Who are you? Asked Rosie. My name is Jim Wood, said the man, and this is my house. Chapter 5. I want Vesta to be more than just a computer. Jim Wood explained. It can think and it can also feel emotion. I want it to feel happy when it looks after me. What happened? Asked Rosie. I decided to go on vacation. Vesta asked me not to go. Then I came down here to the basement, said Vesta. Shut all the doors. How long have you been here? Asked Rosie. Almost 2 weeks, said Jim. Every day I get a little food, but that's all. Is there any way out? Asked Rosie. Jim thought for a moment. If you'll go back to the panel and turn left, you'll come to the chimney. It goes all the way up to the roof in the house. You might be small enough to get out, but it won't be easy. I'll try, said Rosie. She climbed back through the panel and went left. Soon she found the chimney. She looked up and saw a small square of light high above her. As Rosie started her long climb, Clunk and the boy arrived outside the house in the van. Ben and Musk walked into the room. There's a screen with a face on it, said Musk. Cool. Vesta looked at them and said, What do you want? We're here to pick up my grandfather and sister, explained Ben. Mr. Wood and his guests have gone to town, replied Vesta. Really? But have a nice day, said Vesta. Wait, said Ben. We're in town? But Vesta said nothing more. Ben and Musk started to go back to the van. That's strange, said Ben. Why didn't Grandpa tell us? He'll call us when he's ready, said Musk. Let's go home. In the chimney, Rosie was still climbing up. It was hard, slow work. Her leg and arm hurt, but she didn't stop. When she was close to the top, she heard a voice outside, then the sound of the van door. The van's here, she thought, but it's leaving. She started to climb faster and faster. Chapter 6. Clunk was waiting in the van. Are you ready to go? He asked Ben and Max. Yes, said Max. Wait a moment, Clunk, said Ben. He was thinking. Something was wrong here. But what was it? Okay, Clunk, he said at last. Let's go. The road reached the van door, but then stop, said Max. I can hear someone shouting. Ben looked up. It's Rosie. She's on the roof. Rosie was standing on the flat roof of the house and waving her arms. Don't go, she shouted. What's happening? Max shouted up to Rosie. Grandpa's in the kitchen and Jim Wood is in the basement. Rosie shouted back. They need help. You have to save them from the house. Computer, it's dangerous. How can we get inside? Said Ben. The front hall is big enough for the van. Rosie answered. Quickly, Clunk started to type new number into the van's computer. A moment later, the van was in the hall. From the screen on the wall, Vesta shouted angrily. Stop! Get out of this house! But Clunk was ready, running one of the closed door. The rope was much stronger than any person. She pushed the door open. Then Max followed him nervously. He started to run the stairs to the basement. In the basement room, Jim was very surprised to see the rope and the two buried at the broken door. Who are you? He asked. There was no time to explain, said Kong. We're here to help you. Rosie told us about the house computer. We have to turn it off. We're the control room. There was a look of hope in Jim's eyes. It's upstairs, he said. Let's go. Without another word, they all started to run up the stairs. Chapter 7. A minute later, they were all standing in the small room. It was the house control room. Ben looked nervously at his computer. Lots of screens showed different rooms around the house. Ben could see Grandpa on the screen for the kitchen. Can you turn the computer off, Mr. Wood? Ben asked. Yes. Jim pushed the button of the computer. The light on the computer went off. The screen went black. It's over. Everything was quiet for a few moments. Then a calm, quiet voice said, You're wrong, Jim. It was Vesta. I made some changes. Nobody can turn me off now. All the lights in the screen turned on again. On the screen, Vesta's face smiled. Suddenly, there was a loud sound. The big metal door fell from the ceiling. The room was closed again. The robot will never break that, said Vesta. I can keep you all here for years and years. No, shouted Jim. Well, why are you doing this? You built me to look after you, said Vesta. I can't do that if you're not in the house. What about other people? Asked Ben. I emailed Grandpa so Jim could have a friend here, replied Vesta. I did it all for you, Jim. I want to help you. Thank you, Vesta, said Jim. But if you really want to help me, you have to let me go. Vesta didn't speak for a long time. Then Lassa said, Okay, the metal door opened. Grandpa and Rosie were waiting for them in the hall. Rosie still looked tired from her clamp, and Grandpa still looked cold from the time in the kitchen. After Clunk has explained everything, Grandpa said, Are you going to do with Vesta, Mr. Wood? I'm not sure that I can fix any problem, said Jim. He smiled at Grandpa. Would you stay for the afternoon and help? I like that, but not today, said Grandpa. I want to go home to my house and get warm. Okay, that's the end of the story. I hope you like it, and don't forget to subscribe.